Hello and welcome to season 2 of my Aston Villa career. Hopefully, a lot of you have been following me throughout the first season, so you kind of had a good idea of what went down. If you're a new viewer, fantastic. No better place to start than my start of season video. Just a quick recap. What I did do in the end is I kind of played the month of June off camera, which was where I kind of sorted my recruitment out nice and early because I knew exactly who I wanted, and I felt it would have been a lot of just, you know, dead air time of me kind of like getting these deals done. So I will. What we'll do this episode is, as promised, I am going to do some more overhauling of the staff. So we'll go through that, and I will show you every signing I've made and any departures. And spoiler alert, there is a big departure. So we will start off with the transfer history. So now this isn't obviously entirely accurate because I did get a few signings at the back end of last season. The game just doesn't count them as carrying over. So we'll begin there. So obviously first season I signed 3 players. As you can see, I've highlighted Tapia, Vitinha and Jesse Lingard on a short-term loan. Lingard's gone back. I had no interest in signing him, but he did a very good job for us, I feel, coming in that kind of short-term role. So the first signing I made was this chap, who I'm aiming to play as an anchor. So if we go to attributes, we'll kind of look at the midfield and what kind of he needs for an anchor. His marking and his strength, definite weaknesses there, but I mean, he's got reasonable tackling, his composure's decent, his concentration, decisions, anticipation, positioning are all good for me. His teamwork could do a little bit boost, but if we can get his marking and his strength up, I think he'd be a solid option in there. I obviously paid 17 up front. I think it rises to 23, but as you can tell, he's already worth about 40 or so million, 36 to 40. So I'm happy with the deal. I mean, it was a significant investment, but the board gave me a war chest of 50 million, which was more than I expected. So I capitalised on that and strengthened what I believe to be key positions. So straight up, we've signed this chap from Sporting Lisbon. Again, I was tempted to kind of do a video on it for this season, but I've decided against it. But I have a very specific way of recruiting, in which, with the assistance of several friends of mine, including Imozo Kits and, to be frank, who you should go and check out his YouTube channel straight away. And there is a guy on the FM forums that I was put in touch with through Imozo Kits called Shaun, so I've got to give him his due as well. He kind of had the spreadsheet initially, we've kind of just took it on and developed it and gone in different directions with it. So it's kind of a little pet project that I very much use for my recruitment, and it's very much data orientated, and it kind of gives me a quantitative figure of how well a player can play in said positions, and I use that for the basis of my recruitment. So I will eventually, I promise, do a video basically detailing that in total, but for now that's kind of how it goes down. So I used my first signing. I also signed Morton Forsby, but with this one the caveat is I'm not sure whether I want to play him as an anchor or I'm currently kind of training to be a ball playing defender, again based on the spreadsheet. So if we have a look at attributes for a ball playing defender, I think there's only one that he needs to improve on. I know it's a key one, but yeah, so his first touch is okay, his heading's very good, his marking and passing are decent, his tackling's very good, his technique's decent, quite decent in the mentals, anticipation maybe a little bit better, but decisions, concentration and composure are all fairly reasonable. Good positioning, good vision, good jumping reach, reasonable pace and good strength. So I think he's one of them. If I can get him trained as a ball playing defender, I think in one of them similar to Tapia in the first season, albeit I've paid a bit more money, I think he would offer me a lot of versatility from the defence to midfield. Could play centre back, could play anchor, could play arguably Roman playmaker, but that's one for another day. So I picked him up from Sampdoria. initially for 13.5. It could rise to 16.5. But again, I felt that was good money for a player of those stats. He's 26, so he's on the older side of the kind of player caliber that I look for. I tend not to sign people over the age of 29, 28. I'm very set in my ways like that, which is something we'll come to later. But yeah, this guy I bought with the intention of playing him as a centre back, but I think he can slot in anywhere. So again, another sign I'm really happy with. Speaking of centre backs, now this one was a little bit steep, but he was my main ball playing defender centre back that I wanted to go in for. He was one that I'd had in the crosshairs from last season as well, so I acted. If we look again, first touch heading, marking, passing, tackling technique. Basically, for the position, he's well rounded. There's nothing bar the aggression and the bravery, which are always good traits to have. There's nothing that he massively excels at, but he's reasonable in every aspect. And I certainly think that the value for money is not the term I would use, but I think he's worth paying the money just to give me a little more salt. Because last season I was basically reliant on Mings, Konza, and House when House wasn't injured, and Horse proved to be unreliable at the best of times. And I really wanted to have a good, solid amount of options at the back. Hence why I've signed hopefully two people that are going to play there with Forsby, and this Mackay will definitely play there. So I know I've spent big in that particular area, but I think it was justified. Again, his value for his 26-year-old kind of held it roughly what I paid for him, so I'm happy enough with that. Again, he's on the steeper side, but hopefully he can come in straight away and do a solid job in the Premier League. So that was obviously then. I don't think there was anyone that I did let go. Well, I tell a lie. So El Ghazi, Everton did go back in for him. Interestingly, they didn't take up the clause on it, but then when he'd come back to the club and I offered him out again, they snapped him up at the 8.5. So I was happy enough for El Ghazi to go back to Everton, and he wasn't going to feature for me. Jed Steer was one I actually would have kept as a third choice keeper, but he actually asked to leave, and I felt there's just no point keeping him around because he's not going to get the minutes realistically. He's just there as a homegrown third choice goalkeeper, and I thought I may as well just retain somebody from the youth academy, which is what I've done. I've ended up offering a new deal to somebody that was going to be released, and there's an English keeper I've got in on trial. I'm not sure I have to pick up as well. And as aforementioned, Courtney House just wasn't consistent, wasn't good for me. I just thought I'm happy to take 9.25 for him. He's funded half of one of my other centre backs if I look at it that way. He was never realistically going to make the team for me, so I'm happy with that. Moving on to this season, obviously in that centre attacking midfielder role, Coutinho's gone back because I was not willing to pay 33 million for somebody that was on £375,000 a week. I was never going to be able to agree a deal there. So I've said goodbye to Coutinho, and I've picked up this chap from, I think it was Fenerbahce, I was going to say. Yeah, he had a good season in Turkey. I know it's a bit of a jump to the Premier League, but he's kind of who I'd look to be playing, I think, attacking mid-attack. So if we just look at the midfield on that, attacking mid-attack. Yeah. So finishing could be doing with better, but his dribbling, his first touch are very good. Long shots are good, which is always a bonus. Passing and technique are very high for me. Again, he's got strong stats in these departments. I certainly think, again, he's kind of the age range, but I picked him up for 12 million. I think he's good value for 12 million, and he certainly can add something to that role for me. Then one that I was chasing almost all of last season, I managed to get done. Managed to get Onana in on a free. To my surprise, nobody else came in for him, so I was very happy to pick him up with no competition. So going forward, he will probably be number one for me because I think he just suits the sweeper keeper attacking role better than Martinez does. I didn't have major complaints about Martinez last season. I mean, he saved quite a few penalties for us, but I just feel that Onana's a better fit, and again, picking somebody up that's worth 40 million on a free transfer is never a bad deal. So it'll be Onana number one with Martinez number two, unless somebody comes in for him, because I know he's too good to be number two realistically. That's currently, and the last signing I made was Marcus Edwards. Obviously, doubles up as a homegrown from his time at Tottenham. Has gone to Portugal and done quite well. I think initially I signed him to play inverted winger, but I think he can also cover the attacking mid role nicely, which gives me a bit of duality. Something I'm always happy to take. Let's just see. Inverted winger attack. So this is kind of what he'd be like. His acceleration, his agility, and his pace all stand out immediately. Composure's very high. Anticipation, decisions, flair, off the ball, vision, technique, passing. His long shots could do with some work, but I'm not, he can't be perfect. His first touch is impeccable, his dribbling's good, and his crossing's not too bad. So if we just look at him in the attacking mid-role for a similar kind of... you'll have to forgive me when I end up doing that. I move too quick for the mouse sometimes. So yeah, this is the attacking mid-role. Again, his finishing's not the best, but beyond that, he's ticking every box almost. So he was somebody that I think I picked up for about 12 mil again. Yeah, 11.75. So Sporting have doubled their investment on him. He's coming back to England for me. Could go to as high as 14, but again, I'm happy to pick somebody up that can play both positions. This, however, did come at the cost of Lucas Digne. I knew someone would come in for him in the summer because he was just very, very consistent at a high level. He's 28, almost 29, so he's kind of at the peak of the years I'd keep him. I felt it was kind of, if I cash in now or never. So I took Chelsea up on their offer of about 40 million for him, which funded a couple of the players I bought. I know I'm now going to be weaker down that left-hand side, but I feel I've strengthened in other departments that will compensate. He was on 140 grand a week as well, so that's significantly brought down. Something to remember as well is that Matt Targett's come back now, so he'd probably be my starter at this point. Where I think I'm training either Konza or Mings to cover the left back as a backup option for now, because obviously I don't have the money to kind of shop for a left back. Target will do a job for me for a year. He's certainly a more viable option than I had, and then I've got my eyes on Ben Christine in the youth team. Hopefully can come through and start to stake a place, but I just think he's too young to throw him in the Premier League at 18, 19-year-old. But that's the long-term thinking anyway. But I'd certainly be looking for a better quality starter left back next season, perhaps. We'll see how the season goes. Just to mention, Kalinic is on the way out. I've seen no reason to keep him. I've got Nathan Trott on trial, who West Ham released as a third choice. He had a reasonable season in the second division in France last season. But again, that'd just be to protect the kind of third choice goalkeeper. But I also, as mentioned, I think I've offered a contract to a youth academy player, so I may just keep him instead. We'll see. And that's basically it. Obviously, Wesley Morales is still out on loan because his deal doesn't expire till Christmas. But I can't see him coming in and staking a place, especially on 50 grand a week. I think he'd be sold. I have brought Keenan Davis back into the fold, though. I don't think he's that great of a player. I never have. But for a fourth choice striker, he had a reasonable season in the Championship for homegrown and on 25 grand a week. I think he could do a job as a fourth choice for 12 months. Because I couldn't spend big in the attacking position in back-to-back windows, especially when I've got Watkins, Ings, and Vitinha to all fit in. So Trezeguet's another one. He's come back from loan and I think he'll be my backup right winger this season. So he's out of contract. Let's see if he can earn himself a new one in the summer. Jacob Ramsey, another one, has come back looking incredibly impressive after what was a reasonable spell in Austria. He didn't play as much as I'd like, but he's not played badly. So he'll certainly be getting his chance in the league this season for me. Gilbert is leaving on a free transfer. Decided against giving him a new contract, meaning that Cash and Chambers would retain the right back roles for me this season, with Chambers obviously being able to double up in other positions. But yeah, that's pretty much squad wise. This is kind of what my first choice team would be, I feel, at this point. I mean, Konza and Mings are interchangeable with obviously Macau, I'm going to call him, Forsby's not ready to play though yet. He needs to learn the role better, but he's a very good option. Then we've got, obviously Wesley wouldn't be there, but I think I've certainly improved the squad. Results will obviously tell the story as the season goes on, but I think I've spent the 50 million and then the 40 or 30 or so I got from Daniel well. I've strengthened in most areas. I've kind of know that next season I want to be looking at the fullbacks and look to improve them, and then potentially another striker, but we'll see. Ings is someone that I'd ship out if I could. I've not gone as far as offering him for a transfer, but he's certainly someone I wouldn't stand in the way of leaving. The intensity and the familiarity are almost there. We're now accomplished in everything, which is good. So we should be playing this formation to a high standard now. But yeah, that's pretty much my recruitment in a nutshell before 1st of July. If I sign anybody else, you will obviously find out. This is someone as well I've attempted to go for, but he just looks really good. But I can see him not getting a not getting a work permit at all. But for the attacking mid role, he seems very good in almost every. For a 25-year-old, for the sake of 68 grand, I'd happily take a punt on him as a backup. If it goes wrong, it goes wrong. I'm sure I'll make profit on him, but I just felt that was a deal that looked too good to be true. Currently he is injured, but again, I think he'll fail a work permit, which is a shame. But this is the thing with the kind of spreadsheet and the way I assess my recruitment. How on earth would you ever come to the conclusion to sign this guy? But yeah, his stats really seem to stand up. But again, we'll see. So as promised, I'm going to do some changing of the staff. To be fair, I want more coaches. I don't know if they'll allow me. I think they've given me 2 more coaches, which is a start. I think the head of youth development, I think I'm happy with, but I'd want to replace the assistant manager. I think Mark Harrison has done a good job, especially with the crop I've got for him. I'm really happy with it. So there's just no need for me to sack him, but I think McAllister can be replaced. So we'll offer him a mutual termination. We'll go to staff search. So let's bump this up a bit. I don't like that 5 out of 6. I don't know why it does that. Kegel or this Hungarian chap who was assistant manager. Basically it's what do you call it is the word I'm looking for. It's Thomas Tuchel. Sorry about that. Thomas Tuchel's assistant manager, so I'm gonna try and nab him because I think he's an improvement on McAllister. It doesn't, in the key stats, it doesn't look to be much different, but I think if we looked at them quantitatively, again, he just edges him. He's a better people manager. He's similar of ability. They're both determined. He's more adaptable. He's better at motivating, which is a key one. His level of discipline's lower, but I can take that. He's good at working with youngsters. His tactical and technical's better. His mental's better. He's obviously some kind of defensive coach. So his defending's instantly better. So yeah, I mean, I didn't really have much against McAllister. I just feel that this way it improves the team. So I am going to straight away go in for another goalkeeping coach. I'm happy with Nista, but I want another one. So because I think from what I've seen that means they've allowed me the extra coaches because it's given me the 2 extra slots. Let's just check how we stack up. What's weakest? Goalkeeper handling, goalkeeper distribution. Shot stopping is the weaker one. So let's look for a shot stopper. Goalkeeper, coach, shot stopping. And just improve that element of it. Because we're quite weak and average, that staffing base, in my opinion. And you need better. Ramon Deforte or Tenius. I know this Tenius is a good goalkeeper. Yeah, that's just ridiculous. He's certainly someone that I want. So that's another goalkeeping coach secured. The fitness coach. Can we do better? The fitness coach. I think we can. Colbert I was happy with, but this Patrick Moore will look to do better as he's quite poor, to be honest. I don't know why I didn't replace him earlier, because that's quite a glaring drop in quality from Colbert. One more. Gregory Dupont. Certainly sounds like a good name. He's a fitness coach. Well, he's been around, hasn't he? Lille, Celtic, Lille, France, Real Madrid, back at Strasbourg, are having a good season in real life. It'll do for me. So that's both my fitness coaches I'm happy with now. That'll be an improvement on what I've got. Austin McPhee might be time to go. I feel that's an average level coach. I think I can do better. Yeah, I tell you what, let's just be ruthless. Let's just be ruthless and just get rid of all the coaches and just start from scratch. And see how this goes. This Aaron Danks. I think I want to keep Michael Beale, but let's just start from scratch. Yeah, I'll keep Michael Beale because he is quite highly rated in game, but the rest of them we'll go with. We'll get some new coaches in, so this means, so if I've got rid of one, I've got one. So let me just check again. So I've got one, but I've kept one. So 1, 2, 3, 4 coaches I can get in. Let me just check what I'm particularly lacking. So fitness are already improved, mental and technical. So we'll look to get attacking tactical and attacking technical and defending. And we'll take it from there. Not many people coming through. So these are my options. I'd love to make him a coach, but that's not going to happen, is it? I'm not kind of wage. You're not going to be an assistant manager, my friend. We'll just walk away because that's not going. We're not going to get a deal done though. Ideally, we want somebody that's got experience in this country, but I don't think he's going to want to come as assistant manager. But we'll certainly give it a go. You've no chance of getting a deal though. Try and bring in this guy. Okay, we'll take that. Next up, we're looking for attacking technical coach. Interesting that scouts come up. Mark Sale looks to be the interesting one. I don't know why on earth he's a scout, because I'm just not getting that at all from Millwall. Let's bring you back to coaching. Yeah, that's a weird one that. I mean, he'd be okay as well. Head of youth development at Basel most recently. He's worked for Ajax and Salzburg. He'd be a good option. Yeah, we're getting a lot of Danish, which is interesting. Anyway, move on to the defending side of things. See what we get here. Steve Bold is always the favourite for me. Interesting. bring in Baldini, hopefully. Yeah, we'll take that. And then we will look for defending technical. Three people. Might be Steve Bold here. I ended up at Watford. Should have picked him up earlier. We'll see if Steve Bold's willing to go. He is. Wonder if Watford went down. Anyway, so that should be a coaching team improvement. What's my analysis department looking like? Not the best, apparently. Maybe someone else that gets overhauled. 15, 15, I think that's a reasonable level. 11, 12 though is not the best. I brought her in, so she'll certainly be staying. Yeah, let's just have a look. Performance analysis wise, what's on the market. See if we can't drag them up a little bit. I think the head of performance analysis is the one you've got to pick, but we'll just see who comes up here. So he'd have been someone that would have been belting, but he's just not gonna agree to that kind of deal. We'll see. There's nowhere. See if this man's interested. Yeah, performance analysis. Stuart Metcalf is somebody that I always try and get. I do quite rate him on this game. He's not gonna get the head though, so Adrian Webber's another good one. Yeah, that's a great little pickup. And then we'll look for one more. Interesting his role at St. Gallen. He'll only move to be head apparently. Oh, this would be a great pickup if I can get it. He wants head though, unfortunately. Nah. Let's just see. Not recruitment. Performance. Right, so we'll go with that. So that means we'll lay off these two because we can do better. With the utmost respect. There we are. Medically, again, head physio is 18, physio 17. This is probably a department I won't change much. We'll get rid of Steve Polly though because we can do better. Dennis Lyons, somebody I brought in, so yeah. So we'll look to replace Polly, so we get a better physio there. I seem to be missing a physio role as well, which is interesting. I don't know which one it is. Attribute coaching, no, attributes. Sports science. Is that Tim Williamson a free hit? Oh, bloody hell. That's a shame. He'd have been belting. Damien Boyer at Norwich. We could get him, surely. Although in my experience, people tend to re-sign with Norwich, so we might not necessarily get him, despite the fact that he's agreed a contract. Who is it that's missing? Oh, I could do with getting another sports scientist. Head of sports science isn't actually that good either. Okay, I don't want to toy with the medical department too much. I'm just looking to make little improvements here and there at the minute. Won't mess with it too much. Time and Storm. Yeah, you'll do nicely. So that's that. Look at the scouting department. Chief Scout I hired myself, I'm happy with. Technical Director I hired myself, I believe. Director of Football, we've got to be able to do better than that, surely. Surely we can find a better Director of Football. Joan Lange. Massimo Taibi. Interesting. Very interesting, that. What do you reckon? Can I tempt you? I think we'll go with that. Mr. Lange, you have served a purpose, but not the purpose I can do better than you now. I think a lot of the scouting department I brought in. I think it's just a case of them leaving, so I can now replace them. I think that's the story of my scouting department. That I think, yeah, I've had a couple leave, so take this opportunity to replace them. You can't be chief scout. One. This guy's never going to agree. This guy might agree. Might be in the keyword though. Gotta get Richard in, haven't we? What a storied history. That's two. I think I was only one short and one's about to leave. No, another one short as well. Right, we'll go for that. That's 3 scouts. So I think we'll see how that agrees. We'll see how that improves the coaching and the analysis and what have you. And then we'll just go forward a bit. So my bid's come through for this guy, emergency backup, which is interesting. Just go with that for simplistics. Again, I can't see him getting the work permit required, but stranger things have happened. Yeah, so it's just confirming about giving me the extra coaches. So we'll just get all these staff in, always go through. That's fine, isn't it? Has he not got a bid? Yeah, that's fine. He's off to Mexico, I believe. No issues with that. You can go. So yeah, we'll just go forward a little bit, try and get the staff sorted, and then that will be this episode. I don't think I'm going to play for all pre-season episodes. I think what I might do is skip to the first real game of the season, and we'll pick it up from there, because I don't think there's much need in you seeing me click continue all the way through the summer. I mean, I've got my business done. about to get my staffing done. I don't think there's any real need to see that, so you won't miss anything. Anything that does happen, I will make sure you're aware of. Sorry. No, don't want any of them. I could sign a couple for the academy, but there's no real point. I'm just wasting wages, in my opinion. There's no need. Barcelona loan offer for Dallo. Good point. Who is available? Because it worked for us in January. We Aubameyang's available. Neto. Wilfred Zaha, because they've gone down. 18.5 million. Tanguy Undone Belly, I'm quite a fan of in the real life. I could get him, but it'd cost me a packet. Might revisit that actually. Probably useless, but I really like him. And then the rest are just people I don't think I'd consider. Tellez is too young. Kalu did okay at times. Rafinha, Twanzebe, maybe. I think I'm just sorted in that position though. Lucario will be going. Quite some names available here. Lingard's available again. What, Wagust, Perez. Yeah, some real names available here. Well, we'll keep going. I wonder if Ndombele is a roaming playmaker. Wow. That's an interesting one. I bid for him for about 8 million and I had it accepted. But ultimately I just didn't have enough money. That is interesting. 18th, 18th. Right, so we're not going to get to all these work permits, are we? He's agreed, which is fine, happy with that. Yeah, we're not going to get to the 18th for all these work permits. So we'll just get the staff that don't require work permits for now. And we'll see how that's increased the physio department. Not by much. Not by much, I'm 7th. But hey ho. So yeah, what we will do then, that's not good, is we will go off camera when my director of football has agreed without a work permit, that's fine. These are all good players, but I can't afford them. See, that surprises me. Get Ryan on loan. Yeah, anyway. So we've got a director of football again. Who knows his stuff, got a wide breadth knowledge. I think he's a certain improvement over what we had. No, you don't. You don't want a new deal. What's his current contract? 85 grand, 3-year deal. Let's just try and talk to him. Yeah, I'm not against it, but if he's trying to take me to the cleaners, he won't get it. No, absolutely not getting that. I'm not going past 100 grand for you. That's absolutely insane that you even think you would get that. And the 50 mil release clause. No, absolutely nowhere. That's ambitious at best. No. 100, take it or leave it. You'll take it. Probably a bad decision, but it'll secure him for another few years. But it means that I get 50 million from him. He was one of my scouts, so I need to go look for another scout now, which is fine. We'll make sure he disappears. Bonus signed in, which got him off the wage budget. Building up nice reserves again in wages. No. I'm happy to let you go to Sheffield United. I'll stick with what I've got. Thank you very much. Yeah, that's fine. I was going to search for one more scout. Who comes up in that bracket? Luke Downing. Technical director at Burnley. Can I interest you in being a scout in the Premier League? Cannot. It's fine. Frank Arneson's the boy. Steve Webber. Steve Webber and Stuart Webber. Steve Weaver and Stuart. Interest you in being a scout, my friend? Doubt it. Stuart Webber. That's what I mean. Norwich have got a good level of staff though. Peter Clark's another one. How have you ended up at Watford? Bring Clark in. Yeah, we'll call this video here. So thank you very much for joining me for the start of season 2. I'll obviously, that's something I didn't expect. I'll obviously push on, and when we come back, it will likely be the first game of the season. And here's to starting a lot better than we started last season. But thank you for joining me, and hopefully you're going to continue to stick with me. And I'll see you next time.